So I'm about to start my first run of the shows. I have 6 shows to do, and yesterday was the dress rehearsal and I did 2 shows, and I was just so surprised after the show how exhausted I actually was doing 2 dress rehearsals. So tired in all my muscles, behind my eyes, everywhere. So I'm really excited to see how 9 shows today is going to pan out, especially after a 3-hour acting class. So let's do this. All you have to do is pick any of these masks or any of the noses, anything you want, and then I can introduce you to him. I am so sweaty. That was the first show and I got sweat all in my eye and couldn't see.
So I just finished my second show. This audience member was very accepting of things that were not real, such as the fake tea. She talked a lot about the taste and the quality.
I found I was really inconsistent with my voice and they kind of called me out on it. She definitely said, "Oh, you're going British sometimes." And I was, because my last character was British. And it was when I lost the physicality, because we were sitting at the art table, that I lost the accent. Like, I think the physicality really informs the voice and vice versa.
She gave me a hug, a very long hug. You know, the ones where like you hold someone really tightly and it's like almost to the point of it could be awkward, but no. And then you keep hugging because she didn't want to leave Bisoux Bisoux.
I really didn't have a good time either times with this mask. And again, my person had a British accent.
We were very close proximity to each other all the time. It wasn't like I was dancing or performing for her. She wanted to be around me.
Person number 4. And I can't help but feeling a little discouraged. I mean, I know I want variety and stuff like that, but they picked the same mask again, and I'm finding it really hard to vary my characters and vary my physicality. I'm also finding it harder now. I'm finding 30 minutes to be really long, and I'm really kind of mad at myself that I'm not just embracing the time.
I felt kind of like my audience member was flirting with me. When he left, he kissed my hand and gave me a hug. Also, it was a great lesson in things that can go wrong.
I'm really tired right now. I'm so excited. I only have 2 left. Hopefully it'll pick up if people don't pick the same freaking masks.
It was about a 50-50 split, I'd say, between when he wanted me to perform and when he wanted to be like near me and hug me and touch me and get into my space.
I was feeling really low, and then the second she walked in the room, the second I saw her, it was just a breath of fresh air. She really did give me the energy that I was craving and needing, and she picked an original mask.
They feel free to tell me things. So if we're getting back to intimacy, not just like close proximity, like touching and hugging and that kind of stuff, which happens a lot, but I also get a lot of confessions. I feel like Bisoux Bisoux must have priest written on her forehead, because I've had a lot of people go to very private, personal places that they want to share with me.
We danced, we made up a dance, we played hide and seek with stuffed animals.
All the things that can go wrong in live theater.
I just had my first person back after break, and my knee's acting up on me. We went to go do skipping, and I felt a weird, normally when my knee hurts, let me see. Normally when my knee hurts right here. That's the muscle that hurts. And the muscle that's hurting right now is right across on top. I just kind of had to go with it. I took a minute and walked around the room and stretched it out in character. But, oh, I'm touching the muscle that hurts right now, and it really, really hurts, just that.
It was a lot of like being on the ground, getting my whole body into it, like being very animalistic. Bisoux almost became like his pet. So I was constantly with this particular audience member, always like rubbing up against his leg.
Pretty intimate at times, even just dancing, and we made this little fort here, and we were sitting rather close in it. He gave me a big hug at the end, and told me that this was the most fun he's had in a long time.
For the majority, I would say for actually all of the shows that I had today, I hugged the person, I'd say at least 5 times before they left.
I'm feeling an odd disconnect right now from humans. It feels like the shows are getting longer and longer, and I wish I could just talk to the stage manager, but I don't wanna. It's only 3 left, but like it's just weird, the feeling that I really have no other person to talk to. Do you like this modern stuff?
No one wanted to leave today. No one at all. And it was nice because I felt like, oh yeah, I'm doing a good job. They want to stick around and hang out with this crazy person I've created, right? And they kept like hugging and being like, do I have to go? And I'd be like, yes, you got to go.
It's a very lonely feeling right now.
Usually I find with audience members, when it's just you and them, they feel like free. Like you're this ridiculous, crazy character. How can they not feel free to do what they want and run around? And I felt like I had to keep pushing him to play games, and he was saying stuff like, oh, I was never really the kid that like went out at recess, and like I don't really want to dance, and I don't even know if he was self-conscious of me or of the activity or what it was, because there's no one else here, it's just me. So why would you, and I'm like, Bisoux, oh, I'm so crazy, and like this character with this crazy voice and like silly walk. So why would you be self-conscious?
She actually sang for me, like it was the first thing we did. And it was awesome. I love hearing her voice. I feel very exhausted, but at the same time I have a lot of energy right now, which is really refreshing.
There was one, I had a mask. It was another one where the mask basically determined the physicality for me.
Do you want to meet Bisoux Bisoux?
I put on the mask for this audience member, and it's big. It's the big one with the like bun on the head, and so it's slipping this way. But the way it's sitting on my head, if I just lean back like this and let it rest right here on my chest, it's fine. It's not gonna slip, it's not gonna go anywhere. But that then totally my entire body. And like it wasn't one of the masks that I could adjust in the back and make tighter. So literally my whole body, it was definitely like, the way I walked was really strange. I always felt like a pull from here, like that was, really determined the way my character was walking, the way I was moving, the physicality was determined definitely because of technical difficulties with the masks.
I definitely started getting, I guess, hunger burps even in there a couple times, and like had to build it into my character, like, oops, sorry, hunger burp.
I'm sweating, like sweating. I am a sweaty hot mess. You probably didn't need to know that, but.
We did do a lot, we didn't actually touch much, but I felt very, like the closest with her, even though we didn't touch much.
For the first time I got the mask that most reminds me of a monkey, and I instinctively wanted to do a lot of groundwork.
Looking at my audience members' physicality is something I think now I should start doing more. Because unless someone is getting bored and starting to walk away or look around the room, that's when I think, okay, let's do something else.
Okay, my thighs aren't like burning as much as they were yesterday. There were a lot more duck walks and squats in my characters yesterday, I think. Yeah, today, I don't know, this first block, all the masks seemed to be more about upper body.
Just like what I felt, like before I was a child, so it's easier to act and have a physicality of a child, and then you're a woman, you're not acting like a child at all. So I guess I'm finding more with me, I'm not thinking of the physicalities I do, I'm more thinking of the character, and I'm finding my physicality just comes natural from that, and hopefully, because the audience members don't see you lots of times, hopefully it's not too similar.
The show's only half an hour, right? So you can get through it. But if I'm really, really hurting, then I'll find a way to like switch up the activity. I'll be like, oh, you dance for me now, right? As opposed to dancing for 20 minutes straight for an audience member.
Even just dancing, I don't know how long we were dancing for, but we didn't do a lot else. And I'm not much of a dancer. I don't know, I just feel very winded and like had a cough attack.
So far, one audience member who like refused to dress up, but everybody else was totally down for it. I had men in drag, I had men in like clown noses. It's fantastic.
My knee is all right, and normally when it gets injured along this side because the muscle's weak. But this is a different pain that I've never felt before, and it's almost a good pain because I feel like I've been working the muscle to try to get it back into shape, and it just feels like the muscle on top is just, you know, it's just had enough. I'm in my 9th hour of acting today, And so it kind of makes sense that turning into hour 9, it went.
Well, I found that for a while I was falling into the same character, and I think I was just doing that naturally, so I definitely wanted to challenge myself physically to do something else. But then once I started to challenge myself physically to find something else in myself or in the character, especially when masks repeat, you kind of want to go back to the character you had established before. But just as an acting challenge for myself, I always wanted to change it up, keep it fresh. But once I did that, that's when I really got tired, when I was feeling like my body hates me right now.
Another physical challenge was the space of the head in the actual mask. A lot of them would fall or slide or make you sweaty or hot or sweat getting in your eyes. That was a huge physical challenge.
I had an audience member hitting on me as my character, Bisoux, or hitting on Bisoux, which was really bizarre to me. Internally, like, it's something you start saying, like, oh, why is this happening? How do I respond? Like, you don't want to be awkward, you don't want to be like, stage manager, I'm uncomfortable. But yeah, no, I definitely had audience members who told me I was beautiful and hugged me and kissed me. People had crushes on Bisoux, I don't know.
The most effective way to control the audience is to get them excited about something. If they were excited to play cards or excited to skip, that was the best way to control them in the space.
With the audience member, try and invade their personal space, because that's what I like to do as an actor. When I have just my one audience member, like there's nothing else to do, right? I'm gonna get in your space, I'm gonna get in your head, and I'll find a way to entertain you. Where are we going? Tell me.
As an actor, always be present with the other character, with the audience member. It's funny how they seem like a character. They really do seem just like a character you're playing with. This is our decision.
Okay, so I just finished the secret recorded session, and of course, nothing goes as planned. The way the camera was set up, I was basically told there was a certain amount of space to try and play within, and that if the audience member wanted to deviate, that'd be fine, but not spend too much time, and to try and get a lot of action happening for the cameras. But of course, the audience member that I get wants to spend a lot of time off in the corner, playing the piano, sitting up on top of the ladder because he likes the view, looking out the window that's completely out of the shot. And, okay, of course, the worst thing to start it off. He picks a mask, the mask breaks. I'm like, oh, like this, I can't even like cover this up. Like this mask is broken. I can't, Bisoux can't be this person. And so I'm trying not to freak out. In my head, I'm thinking, what do I do now? He, though, of course, is like, oh, I'm just going to pick another mask. I like this one better. Oh my God, it's terrible, terrible.
That one?
Yeah, it was horrible. It's the worst one to film. First of all, first he picks this mask, I put it on and the string breaks. Yes, I'm like, of course that would happen. And then he kept wanting to do activities on like that side of the room. And I was like, this is not going the way I wanted to. It was weird, because for the first time I had restrictions on like where I was allowed to, not really restrictions, but you know what I mean? Like on where I was allowed to play in my space. And for the first time, it really mattered.
The last two girls were so high energy and they made me want to go out and party, and I should be so tired right now. If you would ask me an hour ago, I would have been, I'm so tired, I need to lie in this bed. But I have so much energy and I'm feeling good right now. Although, as I'm saying that, my brain is starting to get, tight temples. I should go to bed. So I just had my last show as Bisoux, and I am very sweaty and gross. I'm really excited that it's a weird feeling that the run is done. It was a very short run, but it was definitely a very exhausting run. There was a couple audience members that when we said goodbye, it actually felt intimate, like, bye, like I'll never see you again in this context. And that really does, I guess, play with your emotions of being comfortable with someone. Like the last two girls, I want to go out and have a drink with them right now and be friends with them, but they're friends with Bisoux Bisoux, not Laura. yeah, I just find it hard.